Hello everyone and welcome back to an extra special edition of the Opposition Report. Today we're in person with my good friend Ben. Ben, how are we doing?
Very good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you mate, not too bad. I'll kickstart with a little question that's been a bit of a debate between Reading fans and Wycombe fans on Twitter. Is it a rivalry or a derby, or is it neither, in your opinion?
I feel like it is not a derby at this point. Both fans constantly arguing, is it a derby, is it not? It's definitely a local derby, but is it a rivalry? I feel like there's not enough history yet for it to be a rivalry. Wycombe, we've been a non-league team most of our history. You guys, there's not enough fixtures played in the past really to say make it a rivalry yet.
I feel like it's a rivalry between us two because obviously we know each other. So for us two, it's like winner takes all and it's good. But for the rest of the fans, like it's a derby, it's a local derby.
Yeah.
It's not much more than that. Let's look at your season then. Funny enough, absolutely identical to us.
Yep.
But you're one place above us. Played 30, won 11, drawn 10, lost 9. Talk to me about how it's gone so far.
Yeah, as you said, it's mirrored your season quite a lot. I mean, both started the season with different managers, very poor starts, sort of below the expectations we expected when we had Dodds. We tried to sort of change the playing style to be a bit more dynamic, playing out from the back. Didn't really work under Dodds, so he left. We brought in Michael Duff, and since then, it's all been up really. Good January window, and hopefully pushing on for the playoffs second half of the season.
You mentioned Doddy there. Obviously, that's been one of the major changes since the last time we played you. Dodds out, Duff in. What contributed to Dodds' downfall? Because from the outside looking at it and looking at your transfer window, he was given a lot to deal with. Like, it's one thing being invested in properly, but if you look at the numbers that you bought in January last year and in the summer, it's a hard task for him to deal with.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy for him. I mean, I actually spoke to him personally at Wembley last year at the playoff final, and he mentioned it being similar to the Chelsea situation where you almost say everyone has a chance, or you sort of just pick your squad and the rest train with the reserves or so. It obviously wasn't easy for him, but again, he didn't really help himself with tactics. I mean, go back to the Reading game earlier in the season, we bring on Taylor Allen, one of the best centre-backs in League Two last season, at left wing. And funnily enough, he was actually probably our best player second half, but strange tactical decisions, and we just never got going. He took over a team, second place, flying high, ended the season in an absolute slump, and started the season on relegation form.
Looking at sort of the end of last season, the way that went, would you contribute that down to Doddsy then, or would you contribute it more down to obviously Bloom's leaving and the amount of incomings you had in January?
I think January was just so disruptive last year. I mean, we lose the manager, and then we bring in, I think, 12 players into January window, which really isn't necessary. And obviously lost Aaron Morley, who's thankfully back now. But he was sort of integral to the way we were playing up until January. And also, if you look at our performances, we'd actually tailed off a little bit before January performance-wise, but we're just sort of riding our luck. And then the January window, losing Bloomfield, making the wrong appointment, it was just a recipe for disaster.
You spoke about Aaron Morley there. Let's talk about this January transfer window quickly. Morley, Lowe, Harris and Vidigal in. Morley's a player that I want to talk about because obviously Bolton, who you signed him from, they're challenging towards the top half of the league. Does it not worry you? I know obviously Morley was really good on loan at you guys, but does it not worry you the fact that obviously Bolton are in fourth and they're a side that you should be competing at? Does it worry you that they're so happy for him to go?
I think it was sort of just the wrong fit with him at Bolton. I know he's been there a long time, but even since he's been back, the 2 or 3 games he's played in, he's just been unbelievable for us. He really does just make the way we play. And I know Bolton fans weren't fond of him. Again, don't know why. Maybe something wasn't right up there, maybe the system. But he just seems to thrive at Wycombe, and yeah, very glad to have him.
And the other sort of major signing, but he comes with a little asterisk next to his name, Nathan Lowe, broke his leg on Boxing Day. Do you think it's a bit of a risk bringing him in, considering he probably won't be fit for a while?
It's obviously a risk, but we needed a striker, and Nathan Lowe he just brings goals. Top scorer in League Two last season, was he, I think? Yeah, and if you're going to bring in a forward, so what, we have to wait a couple of weeks, but he should be back, I think, by the end of the month, and then in for the run-in. You wouldn't really want anyone else leading the line in the run-in for you than Nathan Lowe.
Michael Duff, since he's come in, what's your thoughts been on him?
Yeah, really good, really honest in his interviews, changed the style of play slightly, brought up the results, and he stopped tweaking so much of the team. Dodds was sort of making 4 or 5 changes every game, changing the system. We've had a much more consistent team under Duff, and I mean the results have showed.
You mentioned with the results though, you are actually one of the worst teams still away from home. You're struggling a bit. You're sat 18th in the away league table. What's kind of contributed to that?
Yeah, our away form's been really poor. It's something that has just started to pick up recently. I'm not sure. I mean, as you know, Adams Park, it has been a fortress of us for the last few years. I'm not really too sure why that is, to be honest. But yeah, the away form is on the up, hopefully.
And looking at the players so far, who's been the standout for you so far?
I say we've had a few standouts. Fred Onyedimia obviously leads the way with goals. He's been almost back to his best this season. I mean, he's got pedigree, played in the Premier League a couple of seasons ago. Was sort of on and off last season, but this season he's really been our sort of talisman. The reintroduction of Luke Leahy into the starting lineup, he's almost been ever present up until the last few weeks. He's been really solid in the middle. And then Anders Hagelsgaard at the back, really solid. Broken through this year, really, really strong centre-back.
It's interesting you say Luke Leahy, because speaking to you sort of this time last year, you weren't a massive Leahy fan. What's kind of changed for him?
I think he's probably been massively helped by Duff coming in and going a little bit more direct almost, because under Bloom's, he does give the ball a lot, but he tries things, he tries to make things happen. I think he's top of our assists this season, and yeah, he's a form player, I think, Leahy.
Real leader in the dressing room as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why he started most games for us, and he feels like he's been at Wycombe longer than he has. As with Grimmer, like, they're both just sort of stalwarts in the team, leaders, and in quite a new squad with lots of new faces. It's good to have two players like real leaders in there.
And who would you say has been your most disappointing player? Who have you not been impressed with out of all the players so far this season?
It feels harsh, but it would have to be Bradley Fink. I think, considering the rumoured fee we paid, about £1 million, I think, coming in as a striker, pedigree, Dortmund Academy, and he's not scored a league goal. He's not had the most opportunities. He sort of gets minutes off the bench, but from what I've seen so far, it's not really clicking for him, and I really hope he does come good. But
did I hear something about the next Haaland? Was that something you were trying to tell me in January?
Well, that was quoted when he was at Dortmund in the academy. At the same time, Haaland was there, both tall, long hair. I think that may have been more of the comparison other than play style.
Still waiting for his first goal as well, isn't he?
He has scored in the Bristol Street Motors Cup.
Yeah, or the Virtue Trophy, whatever they decide to call it these days, because it's changing every week.
But not in the league.
And who's been your biggest surprise so far this season? Is there anyone that sort of turned around, someone who you didn't expect to have such a good performance from?
Yeah, I'd probably say Anders Hagelsgaard. Because last season, I think even when we spoke to Dodds at Wembley, and we said, do you think the Danes will be more involved next season? And he was like, Magnus, yeah. But he wasn't too keen on Anders. And this time last year we signed him, didn't really play any games last season.
Obviously, you've been going down the data-driven recruitment path. Hagelsgaard and Westergaard coming in, two names that Wycombe fans wouldn't have heard of this time last year. Have you noticed sort of the difference in style of players that you're bringing in now to what you were maybe before the takeover?
I mean, yeah, it's chalk and cheese since before the takeover. Before the takeover, we were getting free agents, scraps, loans on deadline day, whereas now we're spending money. There's clearly thought gone into the signings. Okay, some of them haven't been quite as good. You mentioned
a lot of them.
You mentioned Westergaard, yeah, but some of the signings as well have been really good. I think they're slowly getting there. It was obviously a shaky start. Definitely trying to bring in too many. Whereas you look at our January window, we've gone for quality over quantity. Brought in 4 players who should all, on their day, improve the squad and the 11, rather than just sort of throwing players everywhere. Although even you look at our business last year, we brought in Sonny Bradley and Adam Reach, who are now playing at Lincoln, flying high, start every game. There was good signings in there. I think it was just some wrong time, wrong place. Others just too many players coming in.
I mean, I think it was nearly 11 in January and almost 11
in the summer. Yeah, it's very disruptive windows for a team that was flying high. It's really not what you need, but they seem to have now got it under control.
Do you place that blame then with the ownership about potentially not being able to get you across the line last year?
I think part of the blame has to lie with the ownership. I think that window was so disruptive. Losing Bloom, it seemed like Bloomfield was already a bit disillusioned with the board. Some of the interviews he was coming out saying, it was. If you think if he was aligned with the board, he probably wouldn't have jumped ship to Luton because he was Mr. Wycombe. And yeah, I think the ownership group did make a mistake last year. But they did try, they put money into it. They clearly tried to improve the squad, but it was just too many players and not the right players.
Let's look at the game then on Saturday, on Valentine's Day of all days, 12:30 kickoff. First of all, what formation are you expecting Duff to play on Saturday?
I think we'll probably line up with a 4-2-3-1 on Saturday.
And just run us through, it'd be likely Norris in goal, Grimmer. I don't know the rest of
It'll
the team
be
here.
Grimmer, Casey, Hagglescar, Harvey left back, Morley and Boyd Munster go off injured on Saturday, so it'll probably be Leahy in there. Then it'll be Quaterna one side, Fred the other, either Luke Harris or Jamie Mullins in the middle, and Cooley Woodrow up top.
So no one returning from injury then that you're expecting on Saturday?
I wouldn't have. I mean, Ewan Henderson came off the bench on Saturday. He's going to be massive coming back from injury in the midfield. Josh Scowen is on his way back. I think he's back on grass, but I wouldn't have thought he'll be appearing on Saturday.
And who's the one player that Reading needs to watch out for?
Ooh, I would say Fred Onyedinma.
He does love a game against Reading.
He loves scoring against Reading. He's just a tricky winger. He's going to cause you problems at the back. And yeah, that's who you need. And Aaron Morley as well. I reckon Morley goal, Morley assist for a Fred Onyedinma goal.
I mean, after I've spoken about obviously Bolton not wanting him, it's kind of set himself up for a goal now on Saturday, hasn't he? I'm hoping this doesn't.
Or an assist.
Yeah, I hope this doesn't end up in an edit. Score predictions for the game then on Saturday, because obviously you won at the Majeski, what was it now, 2 years ago, but the last few results swung in Reading's favour and the odd draw in there too.
Yeah, I mean, last season we were really poor at the Majeski. I think was it 2-0 or 2-1 in the end?
1-0.
1-0 to Reading, yeah.
And Select Car, and then 1-1, I think, away from home.
Yeah, and then obviously 2-2 earlier this season.
Yeah.
I think the way we're playing at the moment, I'd like to see a 2-1 win to Wycombe. Confident.
2-1 win.
2-1 win, I think, yeah. We need to break the away hoodoo. We need to win this game if we want playoffs.
Proper statement of intent if you can win this game, I guess.
It would be a big statement, yeah.
It kind of brings me on nicely to my last question of what are the aims of the season? Is it to creep into the playoffs? Because there's a lot of teams in the conversation. You've got us, Peterborough, yourselves.
Yeah.
What's the aim?
I think the aim has got to be playoffs. I mean, I think it would be a bonus to get the playoffs after our start to the season. I think if we finish top 10, I think most Wycombe fans would probably be happy. But I would like to see us sneak into the playoffs.
And in your head, you saying, what is it, head and heart saying playoffs? Or
I genuinely think we can make the playoffs, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, there's a lot of good teams around there this year. I think it's very open, one of the most open years, but I think we can sneak in there. And if we win on Saturday, it'll be a good start to heading up that way.
It's a perfect place to end it. Thank you very much for joining me today, Ben, and come on you Ars.